back, everyone. Is game number 1, Wildcard Gaming versus F2K MyWay.
More like points gaming. Let's go. We all get 2 points.
Who gets points?
Yeah, but right
Is it the
now,
same as us getting no points though? Ooh, big opener here on Maru. That's going to be a trap on Looney very early on. Temporal Shield deflects just a little bit, but a very aggressive opening here by F2K. And we have seen them use the spite trinkets, and here we go. Hydra is going to get spited up, a paralyze into a blinding sheet, into a leg sweep. Hydra immediately using his pain suppression. Let's see how he handles this situation. There's going to be big burst damage here available. The corruption is just overloading Hydra. And I'm curious to see if he kind of read this situation, because it doesn't seem like these spite trinkets are super effective. Hydra weathers the storm, and now they're turning it around tomorrow. Can they get a big cooldown? They get the sacrifice from Looney, and things aren't looking too bad here for F2K.
Tony's also playing Cyclone, so during those spite attempts, he might be able to stop some of the crowd control chain by using crowd control himself. He's also going to soak some interrupts. I do wonder if Tony playing Cyclone could turn the tables of this matchup.
Hydra's playing 3 corruption too.
Yeah, so I knew it. Corruption here, and very smartly so, because this is how Wildcard Gaming beat, I believe it was N-Light, and now we're going to see big push here coming in. Maro gonna disrupt the Dragon's Breath, the clone into a sheep with the Dragon's Breath sheep there, and we're gonna see Hydra now paralyzed. Here's the spice being lobbed out. Blizzo roots him inside of it. There's the leg sweep. They have the damage. Armor of Justice comes out as well, but I don't see the third spite here. Maro wasn't able to get it, and unfortunately for him, that means Hydra probably gonna be able to recover here without actually having to use much cooldowns at all. He's just spamming out the Rapture. Shadow Man's coming out, and Hydra is just deflecting the situation beautifully so far, but still, Blizzard's all over him. He's taking a decent amount of damage. He goes for the Shadow Man, and he is playing Masochism, which means when he Shadow Mans himself, he's going to be taking less damage from physical attacks. Maro gets Cyclone. Now Tony's trying to swap it to Blizzo. Can he swap it to Looney and go for Maro? It doesn't look like it. Maybe Looney was on DR there. Now they're going to stun up Looney into the trap here, potentially. Hydra is ready to fear as well outside of it. Nasty spell being precasted by Hydra. He gets it, but he's going to have to fake here. He gets Prem. He is sheeped here. Blizzo in a full stun, though. And Tony going for the Cyclone. Both Tony and Kazu need to be running right now while Hydra is in the CC chain here, Ben.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Cassie, though, not really taking too much damage. In the meantime, Hydra's going to get out of the crowd control. Mana could be a win condition here for Wildcard Gaming if these spite attempts aren't going to be working out. Maybe they want to try spiting someone else in the match. I'm not sure. Hydra is at least burning through a lot of his mana when they go after him, so definitely something to consider. But good crowd control coming in from F2K MyWay. I really like this Cyclone pick. Maro now going for a polymorph. Unfortunately, can't find it. The blinding light comes in to actually break it. They completely botched their attempt. They're going to go for a leg sweep on Kasu. Maybe they're actually just going after the DPS now. Full polymorph on Hydra. This is actually setting up quite nicely here for Wildcard Gaming. Kasu, if he has to use that aspect of the turtle, it's going to be danger time for F2K, but looks like Hydra should be able to stabilize with a nice Shadow Mend. Kasu holds on to fight another day, and now it's going to be up to F2K MyWay to try to get a nice burst attempt going on either Maro or Blizzo.
I feel like because Hydra has like no stats from dropping his corruption so much, that Wildcard Gaming just have to stay alive and do maximum damage. They should be able to run Hydra out of mana and win that way. But right now they're all in crowd control. Maro pre-temporal shields the hit. Oh, but doesn't heal for too much though. And Looney's in a Cyclone. Beautiful setup right now. Is there a Master Spell for the Ice Block? There is. Can they close it out here in one crowd control chain? Looney denies the kill with Divine Favor into Avenging Wrath. Big heals out from Looney, but it did cost quite a lot on that assault. Hydra's mana is running pretty close to empty at this point, so they're definitely going to need to keep up the pressure here. Tony looking for Cyclones. Cyclones Maro at low health. I really like these Cyclones from Tony, both defensively and offensively. Another freezing trap lands here. They're pushing on to Maro. Hydra's on top of him as well. All 3 members of F2K MyWay trying to drill down Maro, but they don't find any damage there. Really surprising lack of damage. They're doing the spite strat on the Hunter, but Life Grip from Hydra counters it. Tony's spamming out Cyclones. They're not going to find any momentum from that spite. All 3 members of F2K once again connect on to Maro, waiting eagerly for that freezing trap cooldown to utilize onto Looney in the near future. And Kasu is sitting right next to him, waiting, but Tony's being pressured. He needs to land the trap. Freezing trap has been landed. Kasu moves in. Hydra's in position for a Psychic Scream. A lot of trouble for Maro here. The Maledict is stacking up. Full Psychic Scream. No way to escape. F2K MyWay are seconds away. They're closing it out in Game 1 against Wildcard Gaming.
That's another victory for a jungle team here. Game 1 victory against Wildcard Wildcard Gaming, and that just looked like a super clean game there, Zico.
That was an insane game, actually. F2K
Yeah.
MyWay read the strategy perfectly from Wildcard Gaming. Hydra was wearing low corruption. Hydra was prepared in terms of what race he was playing with that human priest and everything. And they knew, as long as we don't get spited and killed, we're going to have a good time in this matchup. We can do setups. There's no warlock that's going to dispel every trap. We can just focus on trying to kill Morrow. And they were able to get those big setups. And at the end there, Hydra able to secure it with the fear. Just a clean game here from F2K. They played it to the game plan. They read what the enemy team wanted to do, and they executed on it. And now my question is for Wildcard here. Is it turbo time?
Yeah, Hydra actually only running 3 corruption here. Was Spike just not quite as powerful as they were expecting on the side of Wildcard then?
Well, I mean, that's basically the way it works, right? If Hydra's going to be playing above 30 corruption, around that mark, then those spite attempts become really, really scary as you get really overloaded by the corruption. That being said, if you run really low corruption, it's kind of a gamble, because if you run really low corruption and they don't spite, then you're playing at a disadvantage being so low in corruption. But if they do use spite, they commit a lot to that trinket, then you're pulling out way ahead. So I think Hydra just read the situation really, really well, kind of realizing what they wanted to do after seeing how they played it against Enlight. And yeah, it was just a good guess by them, a good read, and because of that, they didn't get punished by that spite whatsoever, and they were able to eventually pull out a win.
And then Zico touched on it a bit. What do you want to see Wildcard do, Super T's? Do they play a different comp here, maybe readjust their gear? What's their next move?
For some reason, I want to see Turbo again. What happened?
It's terrible time.
Yeah, like mid-season in the cups, like Turbo just owned jungle for a week. Like everyone is playing Turbo and just destroying jungle. So what? Why is no one playing it again? I feel like it's still good. Paladin with Ineffable, enhanced full Versa, Blizzo's on Warrior. I mean, I would just play Turbo at least one game to feel it out, and then maybe if it just does fall apart, then no, okay, figure out something else. But I don't know, I would play Turbo if I was them. Get Blizzo on Warrior, Looney on that Paladin with Ineffable Truth, like Z-Pie on Enhanced, full Verso, like I would do that 100%, I think.
Okay, well, that is going to be Wildcard Gaming's map choice. If they are going Turbo here, Zico, or if we want to see them go Turbo, what map do you want to see them lock in for that?
Ruins of Lordaeron.
Not yet.
Run at Hydra. Too soon, executives. No, I think generally speaking, smaller maps, but Ruins is the perfect map for running down a priest as a turbo. So if we see that locked in, probably what's going to happen. But I don't know also, because Wildcard has a lot of different compositions that they can play. So I think the map is going to be somewhat telling, and also maybe they save the turbo for game number 3, because I feel like they would have, if it's as dominant as we saw it, we would have seen all the teams that were running it, like Xset, Wildcard, etc. They would just keep running it, right? But no one is running it anymore. So there's got to be some war game result that maybe, you know, that there's a strat or something that the jungle is doing that they can't do anything against. I'm not sure, but I feel like Wildcard is not going to lock in the turbo here. They're going to lock it in if they lose this game. I don't know what they're going to lock in here, though. They could lock it in here, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, 30 seconds left here with Tiger's Peak on the board. If they do run the same comp then from game number 1 here, how do you think, what's their win condition here on Tiger's Peak for game number 2, Sifties?
I mean, Wildcard Gaming should just play Spite. F2K MyWay has to wear no corruption. If they wear corruption, Hydra dies to Spite. So they have to wear no corruption, and Wildcard Gaming should just assume Hydra's wearing no corruption. Maybe do a couple Spite goes just to make sure. And then after that point, just maximum damage with Windwalker, Mage Paladin, and put out pressure wherever you can, run the priest out of mana. This is going to be really hard for Hydra, who has no corruption to heal through maximum corruption Windwalker Mage damage. I feel like they could just even play a more passive game and win just with attrition if they needed to.
And Zico, no point for you, sorry.
There was no point on the line there. I feel like I would have already had a point for the Fire Mage called earlier. But it's okay. Speaking of, I have 4 points right now, right?
Do you?
Yeah. Didn't we all get 2 points for predicting this matchup?
Oh, right. I wanted to know what I was saving it. What do we want for stickers? What do you guys want?
I want my
Turtle.
stars.
Star. Okay.
Stars all the
Star
way.
for Zico.
2 stars, please.
What do you want, Sid?
Give me the turtles. Venruki sold me on the turtles.
Okay. Ben, what do you want, Ben?
Yeah, I forget. It was sunflowers or something like that. Do you have dogs?
You forget?
I don't. I have a
forget.
tiger.
I have put
Anything
so
is
much
fine.
work into this and you forgot.
I did,
I
yeah.
didn't say so much work. I like scribbled your guys' names in. I'm gonna give you a lion. There you go.
What, there was
Thank you.
lions?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Bad,
Are there
man.
tigers and bears?
Well, earn another point. I'll give you a lion. No. There's just like there's a giraffe, a zebra.
Actually,
What game-
I really...
Zebra.
What I want to see from Wildcard Gaming in this match is, I hope they're actually not playing Spite. I feel like it's unnecessary. They don't need it. It can work, but it's kind of like one trick, right? Like, I feel like if Hydra is prepared for it and they play it right, and even Tony going Cyclone kind of really mixes things up. They're actually going after Blizzo,
Whoa.
might just immediately kill him. They push through the Touch of Karma. Blizzo's getting lower. He's really greeting it right now. Doesn't have Diffuse Magic as well, so keep that in mind. The Maledict play coming in from F2K MyWay, kind of reading that talent choice. Blizzo almost going down in the opener. Really, really scary moment, but they're actually going to be going after Hydra once again. Are they going to go for the spite? They are. They're going for the spites. I really don't know if I like this. The only thing that could be going on right now is Hydra says, yeah, they're not going to spite me again, and he put all his corruption back on. If that happened, then Hydra's in a lot of trouble. If that didn't happen, then I feel like F2K MyWay, they're looking good for this one.
If that didn't happen, then they just play a standard game. I think you even maybe just sheep Hydra, go DPS, double leg sweep, which is, they immediately swap to when Spite's on cooldown. I like that mid-game adaptation here by Wildcard Gaming. So far deflecting the assault, but for how much longer? Blizzo's alone, turbo fisting away here to try and parry attacks, but 1 second left on it, sacrifice. Connects in the nick of time. There's a massive amount of pressure on Blizzo. F2K MyWay mixing up their targeting choices here in game 2, and it's definitely putting Wildcard Gaming behind. Now they're even swapping to Looney, really trying to keep them on their toes, playing aggressively during that downtime of the Spite. Cyclone! Nice! They get the trinket. Will it be enough? Blessing of protection in the back pocket of Looney, but he's caught in a freezing trap. Blizzo, are you going to run away here? He's going to try to, but he's already at half health. Portal's very far away from the fight. Trying to stabilize. Oh my, that was a big proc of damage through the pillar onto Blizzo. Bash on Looney. Casto chasing him down to try and finish this, but that Cyclone actually might be enough. He gets clotheslined. Divine Shield has been forced. Blessing of protection, karma, everything here for Blizzo. Insane offense from F2K, and unless one of these spite attempts works pretty soon, I'm worried for Wildcard in game 2.
Well, they're not going to have one
try.
anytime soon. They're not going to have one anytime soon because Hydra just used this human ratio right there. And, well, they didn't use the spite. So the next time Hydra comes off stun, they're going to have that leg sweep from Blizzo to potentially set up with. But right now, Looney's in a full freezing trap. This is a checkmate situation. If they stun Blizzo, if he gets feared, anything like that, it is GG. Hydra's moving
That's
in.
it.
Yeah, the Maledict is ticking. Blizzo, what are you going to do? He's trying to kite. He's trying to move. He kites Tony. Mind control comes out. If Tony can reach, Kazu's on one side. Ring of Peace. Blessing of Protection. Excellent kiting here by Blizzo. And I got to say, as great Hydra has been playing, this was the first time I really saw him do a big mistake there. Should have just went for Blizzo and feared him when he was passing by. That way, they would have had a clean setup where Blizzo couldn't have for them. That wasn't the case. Hydra prems the sheep right here. He gets the Vitality Conduit on the DR sheep. Nice defense here from F2K MyWay, and they are still in a great position. No trinket for Looney for a little bit. If they get some crowd control before that sacrifice, that could be big. Here we go. They get the full freezing trap. Where's the damage? Maru is not going to be the target here. It's still going to be Blizzo. He has Fort Brood. Maledict is ticking. Looney's going to trinket immediately into the sacrifice, and he does get it off before the point in time. Blizzo and Maru both gonna be
Tony, he's got no trinket. He might just get absolutely blown away right now. Dragon's Breath onto Hydra. Hydra, he needs to grip him. The Hammer of Justice comes in. Tony's getting overwhelmed by corruption right now. He needs to fall off. You can see just by the visual effects on his character, he's got a lot of corruption stacks, but once that falls, big burst on Tony once again. He uses the cloak to cleanse his corruption for the time being. Going for a Cyclone on Morrow, denying some of the damage incoming. But once that corruption fades, Tony's going to be A-okay. And that's when they can once again make a push here onto Blizzo. Looney really doesn't have too many throughput cooldowns. And I feel like Blizzo, there's an opportunity, he just dies through Touch of Karma. So he needs to be very careful. Going to be trading it out early on. And if they do push through it, that's going to be a chance for him to run away. But definitely scary time here for Blizzo in the near future.
Oh, Morrow snipes in a polymorph. Tony in bear form bashes Blizzo. Looking for a Cyclone, gets Counterspell, but now Counterspell won't be available for Hydra, so he should be able to heal here in the near future. He's getting his Purge the Wicked back on every target, trying to max out that Atonement healing. Prepare for the Assault, potentially a Spite. Oh, but the stun onto Looney's Avenging Wrath. Beautiful. Hydra's in position to Psychic Scream a Trinket here. Looney needs to be careful. What he uses, Trinket into a Fear. They Cyclone Blizzo at low health on Divine Favor, and that Divine Shield's gonna end. Can he swap the Cyclone to Looney? You got Counterspelled, no fear. Hydra's out of position. Hydra pre-barriers. He's expecting damage here onto Blizzo. Hydra in the leg suit, that barrier fading, decides to break out of the stun with every man for a problem, but Tony is trying to get over there. Casu is unfortunately in a polymorph, but mind control, fear by Hydra. He's controlling the whole team, trying to buy time for his team to get damage out onto Blizzo. 10 seconds away from that Karma. Charging in onto Hydra. Sacrifice available. Hydra in a full stun. Huge damage dropped here onto Hydra. Only one Spite, but I actually think they should just use the Spites almost defensively in a sense. Just drop them down to scare the other team, because you're never going to get real value with how little corruption Hydra is running here. Looney into a full Cyclone. Trying to connect over to Blizzo. I feel like they should just give up on Blizzo and go on Morrow at this point. I mean, he's going to have Fort Brew Karma coming up. He's cauterized block still. It's the same. Oh, they're going to try and kill him in the stun, but Looney Trinket sacks. More than enough. Hydra could be in trouble as they're pushing for him once again. Limited options here. Rapture, that's about it. With the Desperate Prayer caught in a full Hammer of Justice. Touch of Death available. But surprised to not see him pull the Touch of Death while Pain Suppression's on cooldown at that point. And they've got Combustion as well, with very limited mana. I could definitely take apart Hydra here in the near future. Double leg sweep, it's on diminishing return. I feel like it wasn't a great time to go for the leg sweep onto Hydra. Hydra repositioning back to the pillar. They're waiting for the freezing trap to go onto Looney. He doesn't have any way to escape it. He has to pre-sacrifice this incoming crowd control. Does he get the pre? Is it going to be the question here? They mind control Morrow. Blizzo rolls in. There's the grappling hook. He can't sacrifice. Blizzo's out of line of sight. This could be dire straits for Blizzo. Before it brews, he's got a big damage reduction cooldown up. Trades out Karma to spell out from Looney. The Karma and the Fort Brew should be enough here with the Turbo Fist for Blizzo to survive, but still Looney has limited options to get out of crowd control at the moment. Pressure onto Tony. Wildcard Gaming try and turn it around. Tony deflects with the Survival Instincts, looking for Cyclones, but on diminishing return, likely switching the Cyclone. Soaks a counterspell. Spite's coming in onto Hydra here. And he's trying to get out before the Hammer of Justice. I don't think there's every man for himself. This is the Touch of Death. I think Hydra's going to get overwhelmed. He can drop the barrier, but is there a Ring of Peace? Touch of Death explodes. He doesn't actually take too much damage. Blizzo has to run. Looney is very far away from Blizzo. He's using Ring of Peace to lie aside Casu. And Blizzo, I don't think the ring is long enough. Sacrifice is available. Just press Sacrifice. This is so greedy.
What?
It's so greedy. Sacrifice of 1%. Wildcard Gaming stay alive.
Unbelievable greed, but now Hydra is in massive trouble. Combustion gets popped by Morrow, and they are shredding through. How is he going to survive? Vitality Conduit comes out. Tony is in a sheep, gets resheeped. He does get dispelled out of it. Hydra's looking for the fear. He has the Rapture right now to stabilize it, but his mana's not looking good. Casu going for the freezing trap. He gets it. Do they have the damage? This is the one-hit wonder onto Blizzo. Looney bubbles. Do they have the mana for the massive spell? Hydra doesn't. He would have gone for it there otherwise. And now Tony is in massive trouble. Hydra's in a full sheep. Tony running for his life around the corner. Looney is chasing him here with the big damn judge, but he's not going to be able to connect it. Tony's spamming out the regrowths onto himself, and now Hydra potentially going to get swapped to. Blizzo's all over him. Tony leaps in. He gets the rakes down. He goes to the Cyclone onto Looney. He gets it. He shifts the polymorph. It's on Casu. Touch of Karma comes out. They have to try to go through it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They might try to Cyclone it here. He gets Dragon's Breath on it. Tony trying to do what he can to save his priest, but he gets ring into the ring, and there it is. Vitality Conduit. Counterspell gets soaked by Tony. Hydra is going to survive for a little bit longer. He has a a pain suppression, but that is it. This is Blizzo's final cooldown as well. Looney has no cooldown to save him with as well. So either Blizzo or Hydra could go down. Who's going to die first? It could be Blizzo. Big damage. Maledict is on him. He's taking fat damage here behind the pillar. Caster's all over him. Do they have the damage? Mind Control comes out. Maru Novas Looney. He gets Cyclone. If they have a stun for Looney's heal here, there it is. Big heal. He gets stunned, but he gets paralyzed. And that means Blizzo is going to probably survive here with Looney's Avenging Wrath. Hydra's in a full poly.
No!
Blizzo still, though, getting... But Looney fakes the Skull Bash of Tony. I can't believe it. This game is so close. Hydra's somehow got a little bit of mana. He's going for the fear. And I don't know who's going to win this game here, man.
I don't either. The touch of death is rolling, though. They are just going for Hydra. He's trying to get the power word shield. Pain suppression comes in, and Hydra's looking like he might be able to survive. And still, Wildcard Gaming, not too many cooldowns, but the sacrifice rotates back up. Full Cyclone does land. He needs to break out of this crowd control to land the sacrifice. Blizzo just preemptively running away, doing a great job with that Windwalker mobility in order to survive. Going after Hydra once again. Hydra gets interrupted, but they have the power word barrier. Can they drop the barrier? Here comes the corruption, and Hydra's going to be in a lot of trouble. He trinkets! He gets out of the corruption. I think Hydra's going to be able to hold on, and Looney's actually getting a little bit low. They might make a swap on Looney. I mean, Looney, there's no trinket, there's no divine shield, there's no nothing. If they make a hard swap on Looney, I feel like they could just close out the game, but they're just going for Blizzo, trying to shred through Karma once again. Are they going to be able to do it? Really is the question, but things are unraveling here for Wildcard Gaming.
Hydra's got no mana. He's in a full Hammer of Justice at this point. Explosive hit from Wildcard Gaming to try and pull this victory off. Nice barrier drop by Hydra. He has to use Shadow Man. That's very expensive. Freezing Trap lands. No way to escape the crowd control. Blizzo immediately evacuates, but Maledict is stacking up, absorbing a lot of his heals. Casto connects. Blizzo tries to roll away. Tony comes in from the back line. Big remote guidance device. 2 seconds left on the Psychic Scream. 1 second left. Connects the Bop. He doesn't have mana to purge. He's caught in a poly. Bop's gonna sit. They swap back to Looney. Can they land the kick on a heal here? They have to land the interrupt on Looney if they're gonna kill him. He cannot live with instant cast spells, I don't believe. Double leg sweep, he needs to cast.
Good leg sweep!
Cast with the leg sweep, no, he lands kick! Looney's gonna go down in game 2. F2K MyWay taking the match point.
Wow, I'd love
Yes!
It was such a good match. What a good match. F2K doing a fantastic job. I mean, that was so evenly matched. Blizzo did a really good job to survive. It is not easy to do against a really good jungle cleave. He had great cutting, great positioning, but I think Hydra, Casu, Tony, they did such a good job maneuvering through all those one-shot setups. They managed to find great pressure, and they pulled out a victory in game number 2. And now, I have to see if Zico's prediction is correct, if they are going to be switching it up a bit in game number 3, or once again going with the same Moonwalker Mage Paladin.
F2K MyWay now up 2-0 here against Wildcard Gaming, and this is just really looking 2 series in a row where jungle is just looking super solid, Super Tees.
Yeah, I don't. The jungles have definitely come to play today, and maybe it's not too little, too late for F2K MyWay and for Enlight. They could definitely mix things up in Europe, especially if they're taking down titans like Wildcard Gaming. I can't believe Wildcard Gaming are potentially getting 3-0'd. I mean, this has been a European titan for basically the entire year, really only being rivaled by X-Set historically. So competition is definitely mounting. Now they're on match point. Do they change their comp? I mean, that was a sweaty game. That by no means did that look easy at all for Wildcard Gaming. So would you rather switch your comp and hope that you don't get drenched? I mean, they got a lot to think about.
Super Tees, do you know any Guns N' Roses flute?
On my flute?
Welcome to the jungle. Or your recorder. I don't know. What is it?
I'm
sure
looking
he
it
can do
up.
He's gonna look
He
it
can
up.
freestyle.
You can't do it?
He could do it.
Freestyle it.
He's going to freestyle
I'll-
this. Super Tees is great.
Yeah, you got this, man. You can do it.
I mean, I'm looking
Or I
it
can
up.
sing it, but that would be cringy.
Prep it for the
I'm
next
so
game because
happy.
they win.
Yeah. We'll let you.
Can I be honest,
We'll
like-
let you practice that. If they 3-0, you can play it. Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, this makes me really happy. I love the fact that there's not just one team kind of just blowing everyone out. I guess except
Yeah.
X-Set right now, they're still sitting kind of pretty, but like, I love that it's so wide open and these teams really are even. I think this is really the beauty of that round robin is you see teams, maybe they have a bad couple of series, but they battle it back and, they go toe to toe with the big dogs and I really enjoy watching F2K MyWay play. This is awesome.
Overall, for the round robin, since this every team has to play every team, we've kind of talked about it. There's not like a bracket structure where you're like you can kind of avoid certain teams. There's teams that you could win a tournament, potentially never face another team. Are you kind of how do you feel about the format, Zico, for round robin? I think it creates really interesting series like this where we may not have seen these two teams previously play against each other.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Everyone has to play against each other. You have to be consistent. You have to know what you're doing. And if you have a lot of comps, obviously you're going to have a bigger advantage. But it hasn't only been the teams with a lot of comps. Teams like F2K MyWay, Enlight, Coffin Dance, mainly playing, one comp and doing it, beating most of the competition with it. Not really something that you would expect, but these guys are definitely coming here to play. And I love the round robin format because there is you get to see every single scenario, like even yesterday with C9 versus Charlotte Phoenix. I don't think that's a match that we saw very often during the Cups, but here we got to see it and it was a super exciting game or series.
Yeah, super exciting. Definitely interesting to see how these teams are also sort of developing. I mean, maybe we wouldn't have seen some of the strats either that we're sort of seeing coming out of these jungle teams or any of the sort of counters that we've seen against any of the mage lock teams as well. So it's cool to see what comes out of these teams in a round robin format. But looks like we're going to be going to Black Root Cold, F2K MyWay once again, locking in jungle, Hydra on the disc priest, Wildcard Gaming. Now about a minute left here to switch up their composition. Do you think here, Ven, that they're going to stick with what they did in game 1 and game 2, or do you want to see something else coming out of these guys?
I think they could. I mean, game number 1 looked yeah. Game number 2 definitely looked a little bit better for Wildcard Gaming. There was a lot of close calls, but Hydra he always had an answer. They tried to all in. He always had Rapture, Vitality Conduit. He had the Power Word Barrier, something to survive the all in. And it's just kind of the nature of the Discipline Priest. Even when they're out of mana, if they have those cooldowns, they are not going to go down. So I think they could try to play the Windwalker the Windwalker Mage Paladin a little bit better. I think they also have a lot of different options they could run. I would personally love to see the Turbo. I think that would be awesome. If we look at their stat card, I mean, maybe we're not going to bring it up, but on their stat card, they're currently 6-0 as Turbo Cleave, Paladin Turbo Cleave, and that is against Jungle. So they literally came up with that composition to beat Jungle, but they aren't going to be going with that. They're going with the Mage, Windwalker, Paladin once again, and I'm curious to see what Wildcard Gaming is going to do to spice it up. I think honestly, what I would like to see them do is just get rid of the spites. You don't need the spites to win. Play some more offensive trinkets. Play the Obsidian Claw. Play Maledict if you want. Maybe Blizzo could play an additional trinket to survive, like Badge, something. But there's definitely a cost for using that spite trinket. And I think if Wildcard Gaming wasn't kind of relying on that, they probably would find other win conditions in the game.
How do you feel about the current corruption that they're running on the side of Wildcard? Is there anything that you would think that they should change for Wildcard?
I don't think so. I mean, let's take a quick little look. I mean, I anticipate, it's going to be full versatility for Blizzo, full versatility for Maro, and that's kind of just the standard builds you're going to be playing against the jungle, as you're all such good targets to hit. So it is about surviving those one-shots. That's the scariest moment versus jungle, when they get crowd control on your healer and try to just kill you instantly with trinkets and reaping and stuff like that. So you do need versatility, and I think if they do play it again, just going the versatility is very, very standard for them.
Mm-hmm. And this is match point here for F2K. This is a super solid series for them so far. Wildcard Gaming winning both of their previous series against F2K MyWay. So they're just super, super clean right now. And I just feel like this is a different team on the side of F2K MyWay. They just really cleaned up their gameplay. They're really coming out strong here in this series, Zico. Oh,
yeah, definitely. I think what I want to know is, why aren't they looking in Turbo? Everyone did it for like one weekend, farmed all the jungles. Like, if you look at Wildcard right now, they're 6-0 as Turbo, and that's only against jungle. But something has clearly happened, because nobody locks it in. Xset, they locked it in and they stopped, and now they opt for Mage Warlock instead. And same thing for Wildcard, they're opting for Mage Windwalker. That's why we predicted the Mage Windwalker as well, because we saw them in the most recent showing against Enlight that this is what they ran. So there's got to be something that makes it so that they don't want to run Turbo, even though it looked so dominant the last time we saw it. That means you can see the stat card here. Look at the production. We get a little heart in the chat for production here, coming in clutch. You can see there 100% win rate, HPAL, Enhance, and Warrior, and that's their turbo. Those were the games against the jungles. I think they beat both jungles in the regular cups to get here with that comp. So it's very weird that we're not seeing it. There's got to be like a tunnel.
It's also Looney.
Something.
It's literally turbo time Looney. Like, he tweets about it. Like, they must think it's not good. They must think it's not good to not play it. Like, I could see Xset maybe thinking like, maybe we don't do it, but I feel like this Wildcard Gaming should play it. Like, there must be something wrong with it.
I know I saw Dilly in chat saying that turbo or like jungle farms turbo now or something like that.
Okay.
But
we need a little insight. If Dilly's here, please stand up and please let us know why it doesn't work anymore.
See if we can get any insight into that. But have there been any changes with Enhance? Because I feel like it's been a while since we've even seen that class period. That's
just versatility is lower on the corruption, which I mean could be the difference in the Enhance with Shaman being able to live long enough. Other than that,
what do you mean by that? What do you mean it's a lower? Oh,
like the versatility corruption amps. So Shaman might be more likely to die during crowd control windows. I think that's the only change I think that would have been substantial to that comp. Maybe also, it was Pally Turbo. I was thinking maybe they played Mistweaver, and that could also be no. They played Paladin. So I think that was even before the people started figuring out the Ineffable Truth, though. So have they tried it with Ineffable Truth? I mean, on the ladder, sure, maybe Jungle smashes Turbo when they don't have the exact build that they would need for the matchup, but if you have the exact build, do you still get smashed? I mean, is it any less? Is it any less close than this matchup? I feel like Windwalker Mage is not looking.
But the Windwalker Mage, there's one thing that they have. Like, I think abandon the spites, get rid of them. Yep. Equip a little bit more standard trinkets. Maybe a dress on Blizzo, maybe a little claw on Maro, maybe a little something on Looney. And then they just go for the feral kills. I think that's what they gotta do. If they're dead set on playing the Windwalker Mage, I think you gotta kill, and you gotta do it fast. So you kill the feral druid, and then zit. I knew you were waiting for it, man.
Oh man. Well, it sounds like the game is ready. The players are ready to go now. It is game number 3, F2K MyWay on match point versus Wildcard Gaming.
I think I just want one thing. I think one thing that's really good against Jungle Cleave is Maledict. Like, you get crowd control on Hydra, you Maledict Tony, and you go after him, like, you're going to be able to put out a lot of damage, but they're going aggressive on Amaro very early on. The trap onto Looney, getting bursted down, but they're making a swap over onto Hydra. They're just going for the Priest without the Maledict trinket, without the Spite trinket. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, a lot of their Spite setups weren't even that great either way in that last game, so still pressuring down the Priest is something the Windwalker Mage is really strong at, and we'll see if they can make it work in this game.
Dragon's Breath, did it get premmed there? Maybe they're just attacking Hydra. They're just trying to do maximum damage. Blizzo seems like he's trying to go after Hydra a lot more. Maro, the target here, as a Freezing Trap lands, big hit. Looney's going to respect it, trade out Trinket and Sacrifice. More than a respectable trade, but they are on match points, so blowing through that cooldown early on is definitely giving a lead for F2K. They're going after Hydra and the Hammer of Justice. He drops the barrier, goes for a penance. He's positioned against the wall, so Ring of Peace has already been used, but so the Ring of Peace would have not knocked Hydra out of the barrier, so good positioning. Maro getting cycloned up. Tony is being really annoying with these cyclones. They have to allocate crowd control to him just because he's being so annoying. Hydra's trying to go towards Looney. They stun Looney. Hydra's in position with the Master's Call for Psychic Scream. If they don't get the Freezing Trap, they go for the Scream. Maro going to drop the Temporal. They purge off the Temporal. They snipe the Freezing Trap after the Psychic Scream. This is beautiful. If they get a Master Spell here, it could be Divine Shield on top of Ice Block. Just a tiny bit more damage here on 1%. Not enough damage.
What?
They do get at least a bop, but they would have loved to have got the Cauterize in that push. Now Hydra in a stun, but Blizzo gets cycloned, and Blizzo actually has to trinket it. They're really hammering down Hydra here. He pops the Desperate Prayer, bombing in Shadow Men's and Penance, and I'm waiting for the gear add-on to update here. I don't think they're playing Spite anymore. Maro is playing the Emblem, so no Spite this game. Did Hydra put Corruption back on? So I feel like if I was Hydra, I actually would have put Corruption back on because the other team was looking so desperate, but I think he's playing with no Corruption, so fighting against that triple offensive trinket option likely from Wildcard is going to be really difficult for Hydra. I mean, he's basically playing at half value on his gear.
Umaro taking a decent amount of damage in that setup, but Looney's going to come out of the freezing trap. He's looking for the Hammer of Justice, gets it onto Hydra. His mana bar is looking kind of bad right now. Tony looking for the Cyclones. Can he find it? He gets Spear and Strike by Blizzo, and that was the stun onto Morrow. So now Morrow actually can counterspell as well. Actually, he did there in that exchange too. So Tony should be able to find some Cyclones, but now they're swapping to Tony. Full ship onto Hydra. Combustion gets ripped, and Tony is ripped.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what can happen. Wildcard Gaming definitely looking solid with this comp. I think just don't even go for the spites. And this is the problem when Hydra runs no corruption. His healing is just going to be worse. Survivability is just going to be worse. And that's kind of the mind game, an unfortunate situation you find yourself in when someone is spiting you and they have an effective spite strategy. But I think this game looked a lot more convincing from Wildcard Gaming.
Did Hydra still have really low corruption in that game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what you were?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Wildcard Gaming taking game number 3 here. Are they going to be able to tie it up here 2-2 going into game 4? Here are the match results. Do you go any takeaways from this one?
Well, the only thing I can really say is I feel like there was a couple of moments where, like, for example, they burst Morrow and when they almost forced a car rise in the block. After that, Tony throws a Cyclone onto Blizzo. I think Blizzo just trinketed and kept going offensive. I think in a situation like that, you just clone Morrow. You're going to have a target that's low. You're going to clone it so he doesn't get heals, and you're going to stop their offense. So I don't know, like small things like that. I think Tony could have cycloned a little bit better in that game. But other than that, I think it was just Wildcard playing it better than they did in the previous matches. And maybe MyWay actually wants the big maps against Wildcard here. Maybe I actually need them to be able to, kind of stay back and try to dampen and go for the in and outs and everything. Better for Hydra to survive as well.
All right. I was also talking to Dilly from Turtle during that break there, the North American jungle team, for those of you that don't know. And it sounds like they've actually, as a jungle team, never lost against jungle or against Turbo. And when they were wargaming Wildcard, he sounds like they just don't think that they're confident with that composition. So thank you, Dilly, for that insider information. So my question now is, do we think that we're going to see Hydra maybe like bump up that corruption a little bit, or would that be a risky considering the Wildcard could just go back to playing Spike Trinket then?
Well, I guess it's kind of hard to say. If I was Hydra, I would just put on a little bit more corruption, I think, just based off how bad. If Wildcard Gaming goes back to spiting after winning that game so easily, I would be blown away. So that's where my headspace would be if I was Hydra, but it is risky. They could do it, but I just think, yeah, I would put a little bit more on, because personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Even if they just put on like another 10 or 15, it's not a guaranteed loss against spite, but I really doubt that Wildcard Gaming is going to go back to running the spites, especially just based off the results of the last 3 games.
Right. Looks like we're going to be locking in Tolvaron here, considering F2K MyWay likely to play that same composition. Zico, do you think this is a good map choice for them?
Well, it depends on Wildcard can play Wizard Cleaves, so I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess I do. If we see the same matchup, I would say MyWay are a little bit favored on the bigger maps, just because Hydra is going to be able to drag Blizzo behind the pillar. He's going to have to overextend. Luna's not just going to be at a pillar and in healing range at the same time. All that good stuff. So the map makes sense, but it's definitely a risky pick against Wildcard, because Wildcard is the type of team that they see a small map, they just blind lock a melee cleave. They say, well, you want to play Wizards against us? You're going to have to do it on Dalaran, Or if a big map gets locked in, they're like, well, maybe we don't want to play Windwalker Mage. Maybe we want to play Ellie Mage. And you really don't know with Wildcard. They're so good at the picking phase of a matchup. So it could backfire, but if we see the same matchup, then I think it's a good map.
Yep, looks like they are going to be locking in Fire Mage Windwalker once again. Now that we know what Wildcard's going to play, what do we think about this matchup here, Ben? Who do we think this might be favored towards?
Well, I feel like Wildcard Gaming, they have a lot of different win conditions, especially Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I think Wildcard Gaming put a little bit too much of their eggs in one basket with the Spite Trinket. I think they were too focused on it. And even what Supatiz is saying, I mean, you can play the Spite and then go after different targets just to mix it up. I think for F2K MyWay, this is definitely a difficult matchup for them. It's one of those matchups that can go either way. But I would say Wildcard Gaming, if they're not trying to cheese it and just play kind of standard builds, that they have maybe a slight edge in this matchup against F2K MyWay.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
not much of an edge. It'd be pretty even.
back on that subject as well as what Wildcard was saying, like, this is a team I feel like mentally does very well together. They've been playing together for a long time. In previous interviews that I've had with them, they say even when they get frustrated as a team, maybe they get a little bit frustrated on stage, they always come together after these long series and reconvene as a team, and they make strategies for their next move, for any situation that comes across them. So Wildcard Gaming, super strong team synergy-wise.
Who said that to you?
At
I
least
feel
from
like
the interviews that I've had with them. Do you disagree, Supatiz?
I mean, I feel like when I used to watch Looney and Zpi stream, they were they were pretty on edge with each other most of the time. I mean, it's kind of done in a bantery way, like it's just the way they talk to each other. But if you didn't know who they were and you were just listening to it, you would be like, "Oh, this is how they talk to each other." Okay. I mean, I suppose, yeah. But I could definitely see how some in the past, at least, how their personalities could be perceived differently. But I don't know lately. I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen a Looney stream. Zpi every once in a while.
I'm just going off of what they've told me in interviews of their strategy of how they sort of reconvene through these difficult moments as a team together. But you're right. I have seen them in their streams sort of have these fun bantering sessions here. But yeah, F2K MyWay, pretty good series so far. Definitely hoping that they, on that side, that Wildcard Gaming doesn't tie it up here. Do we feel like this is going to be a difficult next game for them, Zico, or do we want to see Wildcard Gaming potentially tied up to 2-2?
I think it's going to be a hard game for both of these teams. I think whoever plays better is going to end up winning it. I don't know. The gates are about to start, so I guess we're about to find out here. I think Hydra and F2K, they want to have, this pillar here on the left, and they want to just kind of stay close to the pillar, do a bunch of damage tomorrow. They get a full freezing trap, big opener here onto Hydra. He doesn't have Prem, he gets double blink sheep. Here we go, Tony.
Maledict
He's getting destroyed. Maledict's on him. He doesn't trinket the stunning. His Hammer of Justice. Trinket's too late. And Tony is on 1%. Hydra trinkets. He gets out of the sheep, dispels him on that Maledict, gets the Vitality Conduit. And Tony almost win trading there in the opening stages, not trinketing the leg sweep.
Really, really big all in. That Maledict is super
Bubble.
scary as a Feral Druid. It's going to soak up a lot. They get the bubble out of the way as well. Very explosive start for both these teams. I really like that push. They just need a little more crowd control on Hydra. If Looney could have gotten there for anything onto Hydra, I think they could have just closed out the game and won in the first 30 seconds. So a bit unfortunate there for Wildcard Gaming. I really like that explosive start. Really close to just earning them a win, but we're going to be going back to more of a standard game, and we do see Hammer of Justice onto Tony. Full polymorph on Hydra. Once again, Combustion gets ripped out. Tony's going to have to play a little bit scared. Maledict's going to be soaking up some healing. Hydra gets out of the crowd control. Good disruption there by Casu, giving Hydra a moment to breathe, and now they're actually just going after Hydra, so pressure points all over the place here for Wildcard Gaming.
Freezing Trap lands. Triple leg sweep by Blizzo. Big hit there on the Rapture. Dragon's Breath just to annoy Hydra even further. Try and put him behind. He hasn't panicked just yet. Not overcommitting cooldowns here. Tony looking like he wants to jump after Looney again, but Casu's poly. They grip Casu, but not too far. They stun up Looney. They are just going for the Paladin. Prem on the poly. Beautiful timing. Can they purge off the Bop? No, Hydra's polyed again. Looney's protected. I don't even think it's worth Hydra's time at this point. In the Hammer of Justice, are they going to bait out a pain suppression here? It's no cooldowns. Gonna drop Barrier. Ring of Peace knocks Hydra out of the barrier. Just trying to get on the edge of it. Sneaking into some of its damage reduction right now. He gets counterspelled on Shadow Man. He's so low on health. Wildcard Gaming trying to take this to game 5. Somehow stabilizing here. Wonder if Tony dropped the Cyclone. I feel like we haven't seen him go for any Cyclones here. We see Casu jump for another swap onto Looney. No Divine Shield. He's on forbearance. Blizzo's trying to help out with some Vivifies. He gets interrupted. Looney's stunned again, but Avenging Wrath is up. He should be going back to full health. Now Tony falls behind. Hydra's polyed. He needs to trigger this. There's no way, right? Maledict is stacking up. Hydra barely dispels it in time. Hydra holds on, or Tony holds on with that frenzied regen. Blizzo rolls over for a kick on Hydra. Looney's into the freezing trap. Morrow tempts shields, totally negating this assault. Now Tony is playing the Cyclone, trying to look for a Cyclone out of the freezing trap. What is he trying to fake? The counterspell, I suppose, but Hydra's now in a polymorph. Tony's on the run. Blizzo's in pursuit. Survival Instinct's on 30% health. They stop the follow-up poly. They go for Dragon's Breath into leg sweep. Tony slips through with Survival Instincts there, reducing a ton of damage. Actually just cleaving down Hydra a bit as well. Maxing out their damage here. Divine Shield comes up in 10 seconds for Looney. He's got multiple ways to escape. I'm not sure going after the Paladin is working out too well here. They freezing trap Looney. They're going after the Mage instead, but Hydra's polymorph. He can't add too much damage to the mix at this time. They stun the repolymorph though, breaking up the chain. Morrow doesn't care. He blinks in for the half one. Hydra prems into a quarter. Looney rolls up for a Hammer of Justice. Combustion swap to Hydra. Immediately using every man for himself. Trying to get in position maybe for a Psychic Scream, but intercepted by Dragon's Breath and Frost Nova. Hydra not going to be moving anytime soon here. Trying to make his way to Looney. Looney repositions. Caster wants to find a trap. He gets polyed. F2K MyWay, things are not looking too good for them. Their cooldowns are running pretty empty. Their mana is almost drained. And Wildcard Gaming are battling back for a reverse sweep.
Ooh, Hydra gets paralyzed at the split second, so he can't get the fear before Looney gets the Hodge. That paralyze was a game changer by Blizzo, and now Hydra's in a Ring of Frost, Cass in a Sheep. Tony is getting destroyed, but they're going after Looney here with the Berserk, but he gets a fatty Divine Favor off there. Big heal for Looney, and now he's going to reposition himself to a safer corner. Caster's still chasing him though, and they're still going to commit to him. Hydra fears up Blizzo. He goes for the Shadow Man, he gets kicked. Morrow's got a Blessing of Protection. Tony could go for a Cyclone here, but he's just spamming out regrowth and then gets sheeped on it. Big mistake by Tony, and Hydra is going to get erased in that Hammer of Justice.
All right,
Okay.
Wildcard Gaming tying up this best of 5 series now, currently 2-2. Is F2K MyWay just kind of gonna lose this series now? I mean, Wildcard Gaming, they could potentially reverse sweep it here, Super T's.
Hydra needs to put Corruption back on. I feel like he should have put it on at least in one of these 2 games because he could run the risk that they play Spite. But now if I'm Looney's, I'm thinking like, do we throw on a cheeky Spite and Hydra's gonna put on Corruption to try and keep this going? Oh no. It's coming down to that 50-50 draw. This is very similar to when we saw Enlight and Wildcard Gaming with Zuniaki having to make that choice. Or Hydra just has to try and play with significantly less versatility than he normally would have.
It's actually a really nice setup here. So Hydra gets Spear Hand Striked on his penance. He gets immediately counterspelled on the Shadow Mend. So the double interrupt coming in from Blizzo and Morrow, and if you're double interrupted as a priest, there's really nothing you can do. And out of that double interrupt, there's a full Hammer of Justice, and it was just too little too late for Hydra. And Wildcard Gaming, that was a very nice kill. I like this. As this composition, they're able to bounce around to basically anyone. All 3 members of the team of F2K MyWay are a really good target for them. So between goes, they're kind of going after Hydra, and once Hydra's kind of panicked a bit and he's under pressure, they can just free sheep him and go after someone else with the Maledict Trinket. And for F2K MyWay, the way Wildcard Gaming is playing this, it's really difficult to deal with. So I think this is not looking good for F2K.
If we do see Hydra just put a little bit more corruption on, like you guys have been suggesting, though, would that prevent that type of setup that we just saw from Wildcard then?
I don't really think so. I mean, it's going to help a little bit, but not that much. I mean, I feel like he could have still gone down there, even if he had, an extra 5% versatility. So it does matter, but I feel like at this point, even if Hydra puts on Corruption, it's just going to be like a minor benefit to him. And I don't know if it's going to be enough to actually get them to win.
What do they need to do then on the side of F2K MyWay, Zika? What do we want to see coming from the side of F2K? What can they do to prevent those setups from Wildcard?
Kill Blizzo again with Maledict. I like that. Maybe pick I don't know. Actually, hook point's probably too small. Do we have any? Maybe Blade's Edge. Could be okay. I don't know. I think they need to go to a little bit smaller though. I feel like on Tolvir, the biggest problem is if they're trying to kill Looney and they're trying to kill Blizzo, it's a bad map for that. I think if you go for the Mage, it's like okay-ish map for them. If they just like sit back and poke, kind of like how they play against Mage Lock. But if they're trying to take down Looney, you kind of have to rush him down, and for that you want a small map. So I think go small, tunnel the healer, or tunnel the Windwalker.
Why not just runes?
Yeah, they could go Ruins and just tunnel Looney, for example.
I get a point?
Wow.
There it
I'll give
is.
you a point.
You don't get a
I
point.
think he deserves a point.
What? Why didn't I get a
There's
point
no
for the
point.
fire mage then? What?
Yeah,
I'll
we
give
can't- we have
both of
to-
you. I'll give both of you guys.
we have to
tries.
Aya is the
Establish
point
what gives-
keeper. Aya
gotta
is the
flesh
point
this out.
keeper.
We need to
Aya's
flesh this
rule
out a
is
little
law.
bit better. As soon as I brought the
This is
stickers
silly.
in, it got real serious here.
This is, I don't want to play
I want
anymore.
my lion. I want my lion, man.
I
Good,
can
I
give you
win.
guys
Okay,
all
well,
points. How about that?
I get a point if Marl's wearing a Battlemaster. So if he has a Corrupted Gladiator's emblem on, I get a point. Okay? Okay.
Okay,
I'm glad we
all
can all
right.
agree on that.
Okay.
My way is gonna
Okay.
play Disc Priest jungle. Let's go.
Okay.
That's
You
for
guys are
points.
gonna have to keep track
That
of
should be
these-
3
these,
points
though.
because I'm predicting a Feral,
I'm
a
done.
Survival Hunter, and a Disc Priest.
Ben's just over it.
Oh, this is ridiculous at this point. You guys are just making
These
up
are really
rules to
nice.
try to get.
These are really nice. We need the admins to write us a rule book for this sticker game.
This is yeah. This is difficult. I mean, F2K MyWay was looking so good for them. I was really excited. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, F2K MyWay, they're owning. But it really just came down to, I feel like Wildcard Gaming, they just were like, they kind of lost focus trying to go for spites, and I don't think they played it as well as they could have. And now, I mean, in game 3 and number 4, now it's looking like a super one-sided series in the opposite direction. I mean, I feel like Wildcard Gaming could easily reverse sweep this, and I don't know, for F2K MyWay, that's kind of a nightmare, because if they lose, all of a sudden they're in a really difficult spot. Like, I don't even know if they're going to be able to make it into top 4. It might just be the end for them. I mean, that's not for sure, but it's getting to that point. I mean, if F2K loses this, maybe they still have a shot. I'm not sure, depending on what happens. But if they lose again, then it's completely over for them, I believe. So definitely a rough spot to be in. And for them, you really got to feel for them, because they were up so comfortably 2-0 in the series, and now backs against the wall, going to Ruins of Lordaeron, which would be a great place for game number 5.
Oh, I thought you were gonna steal Soupa's line for a second there.
I don't know what you're talking
Like-
about.
Wait, what are you talking about, Aya?
There's no line of sight on this map, guys.
Exactly. I was just gonna say there is no line of sight.
Yep.
All right. Well.
That tomb prevents it.
Oh God. Okay. What do you guys want to see then?
Is this a new fly through?
Oh my god.
They're not doing that again.
Man,
Honestly, real good job production on the new fly-throughs.
Yeah, really good job. You're looking real clean, super fresh. But yeah, Ruins of Lordaeron, that is going to be our next map here. That's all we'll say about that. F2K MyWay definitely need to clean this up here if they want to stay in this series here. Sounds like the game is ready. It is game number 5, match point, Wildcard Gaming versus F2K MyWay.
Game 5, Ruins of Lordaeron, not a map suited for any line of sight, but it is suitable as a fitting final resting place because it is a cemetery. And Tony and Cassio are already fighting at the tombstones, pushing forward to midfield. They're getting very aggressive here on match point. Psychic Scream on Blizzo, remote guidance device from downtown. Looney barely gets through that crowd control, slipping through with 1 second on that sacrifice, stabilizing Morrow for a counter engagement. Morrow blinks on top of Hydra, gets the polymorph. Tony ducking for cover in bear form, line of sighting. Even though I just said you can't line of sight on this map, Tony has found the secret spot.
That was a pretty nice opener, but Tony's in big trouble here. Maledict's rolling on him. Hydra, the Dragon's Breath breaks. He actually might have just gone down. Tony didn't even use survival instincts here, man. What is this green from these teams? And they always seem to get away with it. I don't know how they do it, but now Hydra's in massive trouble. Full trap onto Looney. They're going after Morrow. They got the Maledict on him. Hydra's going for the Shadow Man. Can he get there for the fear? Lizzo's slowing him down. He's rooting him. Morrow's sheeping him, trying to stop him from reaching Looney because they know it would be devastating if they can get to him. But now again, Hammer of Justice. Here's the meteor. Here comes the damage. Lizzo with the Fist of Fury. Hydra's just going to respect it with the pain suppression, but that Morrow didn't use his combustion there. He's going to have that for the next attack, but they might still have the Roar of Sacrifice. Cassio getting sheeped up here now. Big damage onto Hydra, about 40%. Here we go, trap being launched. Cassio gets stunned on it. He trinkets to get the trap. Morrow's in a stun. Looney bubbles out of the trap, trying to hold Morrow's cooldowns for him. Second Blessing of Protection comes out, and so far Looney has nothing. I actually want them to just tunnel Looney now for the rest of the game on my way.
I would like that too. I mean, Looney, with an Ineffable Truth, it is really nice to just trade out your cooldowns early on, but this is something that they can punish. I mean, he's got nothing. He's got no trinket. Avenging Wrath is, I guess, coming up relatively soon, but a Cyclone over onto Looney. Looks like they're still going to be continuing their pursuit onto Morrow. Full polymorph on Hydra. Who's in trouble? Triple Dragon's Breath coming in from Morrow, but he gets stunned up. And it looks like Hydra is free from the crowd control as they turn their attention a little bit over onto Blizzo as well. So F2K MyWay kind of struggling here with their targeting. Morrow doing a good job staying alive. Looney in the backline now pushing in as they make a swap on Hydra with this Hammer of Justice. Great crowd control here by Wildcard Gaming, but the damage is extremely lackluster. And as a result, Hydra's going to be able to look for some reverse pressure here. Trap on Looney. A little bit of damage on Morrow, but a beautiful Temporal Shield shuts that down. And both these teams are playing defensively extremely well.
Oh, double leg sweep, full polymorph. This is devastating for F2K MyWay. Wildcard Gaming with the comeback train. Choo-choo, potentially to victory. Tony getting knocked into the barrier, gets pulled back into it, but then gets bounced away from its defense, trying desperately to get into the shield of Hydra to reduce pressure. Stun into Cyclone, gets disrupted by Morrow with the Triple Dragon's Breath. Kasu jumps in at that harpoon looking for the freezing trap, but there's just no damage. Morrow is so durable with that full versatility. Hydra's moving up for a fear, but they get a clone remote guidance device from downtown. Looney is trading that trinket sacrifice every time for that situation. He's going to respect that guidance device pressure, and now Hydra's trying to get away from the polymorph with Morrow.
Didn't go for it. I wanted Tony to go for the kick there onto Looney's castle. He kicks Morrow instead, and now they're in cross CC. Hydra touch of death. Big damage coming in here with the Vitality Conduit to deflect it a little bit though, but the whole team is about to lose a chunk of HP when that goes off. There it is. And now we're going to see Tony getting swapped to Morrow with a Blessing of Protection. Hydra prems the sheep. The only reason potentially why Tony is still alive here. He goes for the Cyclone. He gets stunned out of form. Hydra going for the Shadow Mance here. He's going to be able to keep Tony alive, but it's going to cost him a lot of mana. Looney now hodging Hydra, and Tony uses his survival instinct. I think he's going to be alive actually. So close here, stunning up Morrow, going for the Cyclones here, trying to reverse the pressure, and they need to get something happening fast because now they are on the clock. They have no more cooldowns on the side of F2K MyWay, and Looney has his bubble rotating up in a couple of seconds. Here we go, freezing trap, but Tony is actually the one taking damage. You got to push him onto Hydra, Ring of Peace, separate Tony from Morrow, and once again, Tony's on the run here, man.
Oh, he is, and as soon as he runs away, they go after Hydra with a Paralyze on Tony. Now Hydra is forced to trade out the barrier, so it's trading out these cooldowns, maybe even Vitality Conduit, in order to stay alive, and the entire team is rotting down. Hydra gets interrupted, potentially Spear Hand Strike as well. He fakes out the Spear Hand Strike. Good job there by Hydra, and should be able to actually throw out some heals onto his team, which would be a blessing. Now Morrow is taking some damage, but he temporal shields all the damage. The double leg sweep sets up once again. Morrow gets a full polymorph with a Maledict on Tony. Tony's in so much trouble. Do they have any more crowd control for Hydra? Potentially a Hammer of Justice coming in from Looney. They find it. Tony's still just rotting down. Pain suppression trades from Hydra. He needs to dispel the Maledict, and he does. It looks like Tony will be able to hold on. That pain suppression doing work for Tony. And now F2K MyWay, they have to try to reverse. But look, I mean, Looney, he's got Trinket, he's got Divine Shield, he's got Sacrifice, he's got everything he needs to keep his team alive. They haven't gotten an Ice Block, they haven't gotten a Cauterize. I feel like going after Morrow seems like it's not working out. Maybe make some changes, go after Blizzo in the match. He switched over to being a Dwarf, which is good against the jungle, but I feel like the targeting from F2K has definitely not been working out for them.
Oh, Hydra on the back foot here. Very low on health. Triple Dragon's Breath. Is he going to be able to hold on? Counterspelled on Shadow Mend. Goes for a big penance. Remote guidance device. Swap over to Blizzo. They need to drop him here and now. Bash out for follow-up. Psychic Scream. Beautiful positioning. They have to cut through Karma. I don't think they have the time or the damage to do so. Big swap to Tony. Catching him out of form with the leg sweep. And that's it. Wildcard Gaming with the comeback train.
Choo-choo.
Wow. F2K MyWay looks like they were going to win that series with a 3-0. Wildcard Gaming, though, reverse sweeping them, telling the world why they belong at that top spot on the side of Wildcard Gaming. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I'm like losing my words here, Zico.
This is gonna suck for F2K. They got reverse swept yesterday. They were up 2-0 against AWC. Today they're up 2-0 against Wildcard Gaming. And once again, they trip on the finish line. I mean, they played a great